I'm having difficulty on this computer. There's a few videos that I've made in the last few days, and they've all broken. But we are, and they I don't know. It's like the clip. I record it and spend ages talking, and then stop it, and then look back on the clip, and it just doesn't seem to work. But it's strange because I did that a few days ago, and the video worked, and I watched it, and then I uploaded it only to find that it was uploading fine, and then it just suddenly cut, and then when I tried to go and watch the video again, it seemed to have broken during that time. So I don't know what's going on. I am getting suspicious that people have somehow accessed my computer and have deliberately taken it down because they don't want me to say certain things. I'm not too sure. I don't know what's going on. But I was recording another video about some of the Islamic people that I've known, or my history with Islam. I don't really have much of a history, but I do have. I've had one friend who converted, and well, the video didn't work, and I don't know if this was like my higher self, because my higher self is controlling the computer, and I don't know if she's like deliberately breaking the videos so that I can't post them, or if it's just some, I don't know, other people tapping into it. I'm not too sure. But I'm going to say it on this one to see if it works. But yeah, so I had a friend who was from Germany, and then she went to be a babysitter for a few years in America whilst also studying, and then I think she did her masters in England, and that was how I met her. We did this tennis club, and she started dating an Islamic person. To be honest, he didn't look like Islamic. He looked very British, and I don't know. He didn't ever dress up like an Islamic person or anything. So I didn't think he was Islamic. I just thought he was Asian. He's quite attractive as well. But yeah, my friend became more and more Islamic, and ended up like dressing up in burqas. And I went to her wedding, and I had to wear like a hair piece. And yeah, she, over the time, I did notice a change in her. She seemed to be a bit more insulting towards European people, asking me to cover up more when I'm in her house and stuff, and yeah, and I don't know, but I felt like our relationship completely fell apart because of her. She was telling me a lot of stories. We went to Egypt together, and we were close. We went on, I think, 2 holidays. I think we went to the Isle of Wight and to Egypt together. And we had a massive fallout though when we went to Egypt, because she was insistent that I was not allowed to leave the complex, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go out, I wanted to take pictures, so I went around all the different resorts taking all the different pictures, and I came back I came back a few hours later to find that she'd been like scared the shit out. She was apparently worried the whole time, and just thinking that I shouldn't be walking around without a veil and stuff like that. And I was just very confused because I didn't have any problems. A couple of the locals did talk to me. They were flirting, yes, but I just walked on and ignored them. So I didn't feel any threat or danger from people. But I think that the stories that they had that she had been hearing from her new fiance's family had been very, very bad, and they basically scared her into believing that she should not discover and stuff like this because all these bad things are happening. So I've heard, I don't know what the stories were, but I know that she was very, very scared over what they've been telling her, and I was trying to tell her that I think they're just scaring you so that they would get you to wear this, and she didn't really believe me. She thought that the threat was genuine, and we were in a tourist area, so I didn't feel threatened, but the holiday was basically ruined because we spent the rest of the time not talking to each other, because she said that I don't want to be your friend if I'm just going to spend the whole time worrying that you're going to go away and not be able to come back. So I could understand why she was scared, but I feel like the real reason why she was scared is because of all the stories that people have been telling her. So that is my pretty much only history with Islam. Having a friend that seemed very happy when we were first met, but over time became more and more fearful of the stories that she'd been hearing, and there was also a Nigerian guy. When I moved to this uni, I was trying to I wanted to buy a house, and my dad kept saying for the last, ever since I was 12, he did say that he would buy me a house. He just kept using different excuses. Oh, you don't have a job. Oh, you don't have education. Oh, and it just kept coming up with a few more excuses just to pass it on. And by the time we got to uni, I was like, right, I'm 18, I'm over 18. You can't use the excuse that I'm under 18. You can't use the excuse that I don't have a job. I think I was working for Blue Arrow, we're just doing temporary stuff, but I had a bit of income. And yeah, he still didn't buy it, but I was ended up in this temporary conversation where the whole apartment was basically empty, but there was this guy from Nigeria who'd come in. I think it was like a 3-month program or something, and we spent we spent a lot of nights together basically, and he was telling me stories about how in his parents, his father was a headmaster of a school, and his father broke his arm in front of his school to try and teach obedience, and this, he'd broken some rules. I think he'd run out of class or something like that, and as a punishment he hit him. I don't think he meant to break his arm, but he did hit him too hard. I guess he was young, and he broke his arm, and he did this to try and show dominance in the school. So he's telling me a few stories. I can't really remember what he's told me, but I know whatever he told me made me fear Nigeria, and he was saying that he was trying to get away from that, and I was happy that there was some sort of shipping company that he was working with, and I can't even remember his name actually. It was that long ago, but yeah, I like that guy. I did, and he taught me a lot. But again, he's from sort of an Islamic country, and they say in these countries they put fear in women to try and control them. They tell them things like they can't go outside because there's something in the air that will give them breast cancer, hence they can't leave the house. And he admitted that all these were lies, and it was lies to control the women. I think he kind of angled it as we do this because we don't want we don't want them to go out and be attacked, and because they know that it's dangerous. Apparently you're not allowed to smile at someone. If you walk down the streets and you smile at someone, they could attack you back because they think you're gay. And so she's told me a couple of these stories, and because I guess of the dangers that the real danger that they face every single day, they try to prevent women from leaving the house because of that. And the attacks and rapes and stuff. So I'm sure there's genuine reason for why he was told all these things. But at the same time, people shouldn't live like that. That's sort of wildlife living, and it sounds horrible. And the things that he told me about Islam, just those two people alone made me think, I want nothing to do with this religion, because both the two people who I know who have got involved in Islamic countries, or Islamic beliefs, my friend started wearing veils, and that she did take me to a community centre full of other people who were wearing veils, and she told me that I would have to wear a veil too. But these women didn't make any conversation with me. They didn't try to talk to me. I didn't get very nice vibes from them, and I felt like my friend was just like, oh, this is fine. But I felt like she was also swallowing her tongue. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. And so that's one experience that I had of trying to be friendly towards an Islamic community, only to feel like I was just being shut up and not allowed to speak and not allowed to show myself, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. I can't. So I need to say that because I think there was a Russian girl as well. I mean, there was a nightclubs that I used to go to, and there was loads of girls. I had 3 or 4 people that I would consider like close friends. So if I got locked out my house, or in the 3rd year of uni, or 4th year actually, after I left uni, I spent a whole year going back to this place, but I no longer had accommodation. So I had like 3 or 4 people who I trusted. One was this girl who'd converted to Islam, and I always had her as a backup, but she stopped when she became more Islamic. She stopped going to nightclubs. She was very welcoming. She said I could always come over to her house, but it was more about she didn't want to go out drinking. So if I came, it would be literally after, and I would always feel a bit awkward about that. If you go out just clubbing with someone, you're drinking, you're partying, and then you go back to the house, that kind of feels normal. But the idea of just going out clubbing, getting drunk, and then going back to someone's house afterwards, I felt like that wasn't right. So I think I stopped seeing her around that point. And then there was a couple of others, but I'm sure there was a Russian girl. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Lithuania. was maybe Lithuania was the blonde girl, I think, and I don't know, but I don't want to bring up names or anything because I don't see a need to, but that's kind of like, you know, I've had no reason to fear any country except for Islam, and so that's sort of my history of it.